Here's one of the problems with casual time travel. If you use it so easily, the question arises as to why you wouldn't use it all the other times. Yeah, we have the whole temporal prime directive thing, but so what? Picard violated it in Generations to save a planet of cavemen. Why is it that was okay? Our projections all indicate that we're going to lose this war, right? Yep. And suffer 900 billion casualties in the process. Yep again. We resorted to deception and underhanded tactics to try to beat them. Oh, not to mention tricking the Romulans into the war by murdering their senator. Yeah, that's not even counting our nasty, unethical secret agent guys waging germ warfare to exterminate the entire race. Oh yeah, I forgot about the genocide thing. So, why are we still not using time travel to turn our defeats into victories? Well, because fuck you! And before anyone tries to bring the whole parallel reality argument in, don't. If that's true, then it invalidates when it is used. You can't have it both ways, that the only time it works just the right way is when the plot says it's okay, and the rest of the time you can't use it. Look, all I ask is that you be consistent with your nonsense, okay? Speaking of which, Picard mentions to Troy about his new force powers that allows him to sense the Borg. Locutus. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. Anyway, the Borg magic up a temporal vortex to travel back to the past, resulting in the present being altered so that the Earth looks like Al Gore's worst nightmare. The only option is to follow them through the space-time wardrobe and stop them from assimilating Earth in the past, which turns out to be our future, or at least our future right now, or carry the one later. The Borg are a bit hard to fathom, since they let people wander around their ship until they start causing problems. Best I can figure is that they came to Earth planning to assimilate it, not thinking that they were going to fail it, or else they'd just have sent 2 ships. The time travel thing was then probably something they tried because their main plan failed anyway, and assimilating in the past was just a consolation prize rather than their main goal. So the Borg arrive in the past over Bozeman, Montana, home of that great intellectual, Phaedrus. Also Zephyr Cochrane. Cochrane is engaged in 2 of his favorite activities, drinking and thinking about drinking. The Borg interrupt with their attack, and being an advanced cyborg race from the future, hit them with weapons so powerful they almost equal the power of one modern mortar shell. Again, I think that if this was their primary plan, they'd have packed a little bit something for this, like 1 nuclear missile maybe, even a little one. Fortunately, the Enterprise arrives in time to stop this bombardment, or at least severe vandalism, from continuing. They figure out the Borg are planning to stop first contact, which would then leave Earth without allies and easy pickings. Unfortunately, the same mistake as always. Even if one cube couldn't somehow conquer the entire Federation, well, surely one time-traveling spear could conquer one small shanty town. Nope. The Borg are just the kind of cybernetic power that would only put the bare minimum of flair on their outfits. The Enterprise crew changes and beams down to check it out, heading to the missile silo where Cochrane's ship is, a converted nuclear missile. Considering their options, the creators of this film decided the best realism for their adapted nuclear missile would be to adapt an actual Titan missile. Yes, really. So for those of you keeping score at home in the nuclear arms race, that's Jonathan Frakes 1 nuclear missile, Borg 0 nuclear missiles. Guardian is Lily, Cochrane's co-pilot and designated driver, who thinks they're members of the Eastern Coalition, who fought them during World War III and are also their fierce NCAA rivals. Data decides to deal with her, knowing that he's been fan-wanked enough over the years. In the first season, there was uncertainty he could survive a 20-foot drop, and he once got drunk standing too close to a star. By season 4, he was semi-resistant to arrows. Now that he has the emotion chip, though, he's been able to do a class change from comedy sidekick bot to badass robot, so he has no ill effects from either that huge drop or from being shot at point blank. If he'd made it to Star Trek XI, he'd probably be a transformer. Lily soon passes out.
Severe theta radiation poisoning.
Radiation is coming from the damaged throttle assembly.
We are all going to have to be inoculated.
You know, I could buy that Crusher could cure radiation sickness with a hypospray. It's implausible, but I'll let it go. But radiation isn't a germ. Saying you can inoculate against radiation is like saying you can be vaccinated against flamethrowers. As far as preventative treatment of radiation, well, sure would have been nice for Spock and Wrath of Khan, wouldn't it? Radiation is such a devastating attack on the body that having something that can render you immune to its effects sounds, well, equally funny and equally sad. Like potassium iodide, the only tested drug we have, only protects one part of your body from one specific threat that only causes cancer. And even then, its approach to protecting your body isn't curing anything. It's saturating the body so there's no room for contaminant. Essentially, it's like making sure that there's no terrorists on a plane by filling all the seats with FBI agents. X-rat is a drug they're testing, although I use that term loosely. It shows signs of working in mice, but you can't test that on people because, believe it or not, you're not allowed to blast human beings with radiation. Not anymore, damn pinkos. Picard orders Geordi to come down and fix the Phoenix, Cochrane's ship, and then he and Data rub its large phallic shape. While no one asks and no one tells below, a few of Geordi's engineers start crawling through the Jeffries tubes and soon wind up screaming at the camera. I sensed something, as if a bit part cried out in terror and was suddenly silenced. Data, you and I are the ones with the best agents. Let's head up to the ship and check it out. It's clear the Borg are getting out of hands as one tries to bash on the sickbay door. I'm not sure why. I mean, those things will just slide open if you walk up to them. It's not as if this scene was after Picard seals everything off. But it does let Crusher show off her bad dye job for a little while. But knowing that dye jobs can only carry so much of the film, Robert Picardo of Voyager makes an appearance, providing a distraction while Beverly runs away. It's gotta suck when you not only are not saving anyone, you have the guest stars show up to save you. Picard figures out that the Borg beamed over while their shields were down and are taking over, so Data quickly locks out the main computer with a special key that only he knows. Then, having the only means for anyone to unlock control of the ship, Picard puts him on the team heading into Borg territory. Then he hands everyone weapons and tells them not to use them. Finally, he says their goal, at least according to IGN's online walkthrough, is to puncture one of these tubes, which will then liquefy anyone unfortunate enough to be nearby. It's the best kind of action movie plan. High on testosterone, low on common sense. If only they could find a way to crash a car into a helicopter while pulling it off.
I have ordered all weapons to be set on a rotating modulation. The Borg will adapt quickly. We will be able to fire 12 shots at most.
So the guns do almost nothing and can't be used once you get to the goal anyway. Yeah, I'm not much of an expert in the field of bullshit tactics, but how about if we skip the useless guns and the self-destructive plasma coolant puncture plan and just put plasma coolant into a tank and spray it at the Borg? Maybe we could all wear some protective suits too? I don't know, I guess I always figured the flagship would be better equipped than the Ghostbusters. Back in Montana, Troy's drunk. Again. Thankfully this time she's not going on about how she feels everyone's emotions. She's just being the quiet drunk, while Cochrane's nearby being the dancing drunk. Yep, they're both drunk, but that still doesn't excuse Roy Orbison blaring from the jukebox. The father of Warp Drive then shares some moonshine, smooth as gravel. Ugh, last time I had some of this I woke up on an alien planet with a mustache. The story went through a number of changes, and at one point it was supposed to be Picard on the planet, rallying the crowd and falling in love with Lily while Riker fought the Borg on the Enterprise. Patrick Stewart nixed that, wanting to do the action stuff this time, and as Starship Mind shows, he fits a certain loose definition of action hero that includes Macaulay Culkin and CGI talking animals. You have to feel for Patrick Stewart, really. The new Enterprise captain, beating up alien menaces and betting the Green Woman of the Week? Yes, sign me up. Actually, you'll rarely lead the ship, and mostly you'll just make big speeches. Damn it! Well, at least they want me to be an X-Men. I get to be a superhero, kicking ass and taking names. Probably have super strength and freeze vision. Actually, your character's only power is mental abilities. Damn it! Well, at least I get to throw things with my mind, right? No. Damn it! Can I at least do kung fu? No, you're in a wheelchair. So among the many things I can't move with my mind, I have to include my fucking legs? So, of course, when Patrick Stewart says he finally wants to be an action hero, you say, okay, fine, Patrick. Though you do have to wonder why most of his heroics have to take place on his own damn ship.
Lower your weapons. They'll ignore us till they consider us a threat.
Unless you count all those engineers. And the door. Not as if they're assimilating people left and right, huh? This lasts a couple of minutes until the Borg realize they've had enough silly things and open their eyes and wave their tiny little hands at them before attacking. The Borg soon adapt to their big old phaser rifles, but luckily they can't seem to adapt to an ass-whooping, so it's a lot of hitting the drones with stuff and Data doing a little chiropractic. Things get serious with the Borg hitting back and even cutting ahead of other people at the monkey bars. The Borg also show how they assimilate in the field, with nanoprobes. This poor schmuck cries out for Picard's help, and luckily he's got the medical phaser on hand to stop the assimilation. Picard then has a bit of a shock when he gets ambushed by a sick woman who's been living in a shack for the last 10 years. As you can imagine, he still manages to get disarmed. Meanwhile, Data was captured by the Borg, and sakes alive, they plan to get the key to unlock the computer from him. Carefully locked to his Spencer Gifts bondage table, the Borg's plans are clear.
You are an imperfect being, created by an imperfect being. Finding your weakness is only a matter of time.
So they begin the delicate process of accessing his positronic brain. Oh, jeez! Well, that'll void your warranty. The secondary plot of First Contact, even though it's actually the title, is the plot around Cochrane, which is really about the birth of the Federation from his creation. For the fans, this lets us see where it all began. And for people who don't really know Trek, it's a drunk and a funny hat, so it's got something for everybody. Even something for fans of Hellraiser. Aha, no comments for you, foolish human.